So we are back with another episode of upcoming mods for Fallout 4. As I mentioned last time, I'm trying to space out the series, do less frequent uploads, but uploads with more content. Kicking things off, we have two new sets of animations by War Daddy, the first of those being the HK416 animations. This is one of my personal favorite weapons just in video games. I actually had like an airsoft version of the HK417, which is just basically a higher caliber version of the 416. Regardless, a pretty standard AR type and something that is surely lacking from Fallout 4. I think there might be a few out there that aren't maybe totally legitimate, but regardless, although it definitely has similarities to things like an M16 or an M4, it definitely is not the same. These animations are looking really good. I really like the sounds associated with them. I feel like especially on semi-automatic, it has a nice deep throaty sound. Yes, that is totally opening myself up for jokes, but regardless, moving on, we also have some animations for the MAKAROV. This is another weapon that I've been showing you from time to time. It is a work in progress by Alex Scorpion. These animations are really clean. It's really glaringly obvious when you think back to some of the other animations in vanilla Fallout 4, like the Defender animations, or even just some of the other pistol animations that Bethesda themselves did make. Then you look at some of these aftermarket kind of modern made animations and, well, they look a lot better. But again, great work by War Daddy. I'm sure it'll be in the comments down below. Moving on, we actually have some new updates to the Brotherhood Recon armor, or really now that there is an armor. Previously, I just showed you that helmet that these characters are wearing, but now we actually have some images of the full suit of armor that is going to be available. Obviously, this is meant to be for the Brotherhood. This is currently going to be on a female. You can see a lot of the detailing hair, as well as a few of the different color combinations that will be available with this. But then moving on, you also can see it on a male, which does look pretty cool. Also, I like that it has a different look. I really love when mods have a kind of distinctively different version for the male and female. I actually don't know what just happened as to why I pronounce female like that, but I'm just going to leave it in because of how funny it is. Regardless, we also do have some further shots of how it's going to look with some different color combinations. This one being more of kind of a blue or turquoise tint. I guess indigo might be the most accurate representation there. Nero's been known to really give you a lot of color customization options with his different weapon mods and just armor mods in general, so I imagine this will be no exception. But all around, this is coming together really nice. It's awesome to see a bunch of different skins being available, as well as just some of the different aesthetics that this does bring. Then we do have some work in progress images of the Parasite suit. This is going to be one of the armors that did appear in Metal Gear Solid 5. A lot of armors from Metal Gear Solid 5 do make their way into Fallout 4. It's another pretty popular game, and they're kind of thematically similar, both of them in a kind of modern yet kind of futuristic setting, like a very close future kind of deal. Regardless, this one's looking really cool. Basically, it's going to look like one of those high-tech, almost augmentation suits, like something that's going to make your character just enhanced. It without a doubt could be seen on an enemy in Fallout 4. I can imagine Bethesda putting this into the game themselves, maybe on like a boss raider or something, somebody that definitely knows what he's doing. All around, it's looking pretty high quality. I know a lot of people are going to love this kind of content. I personally like suits like this to put on my companion, just kind of hide them, make it a blank slate, and you kind of develop with their personality as they do. So we have some updates to the network mod. This is going to be the network phase 2. I covered this mod a while ago. It basically includes an armor as well as a power armor to go along with it. It is a very similar aesthetic to the previous armor I just showed you, kind of a distant future, but not that distant. Something to note is it seems like all of this is going to be fully modular. So you could definitely tell with the helmet, you could just have the goggles, just have the undermask, have just the helmet, or have the whole face mask and helmet. It looks pretty cool, and it seems like that is going to be a common theme throughout the entirety of the armor, including the chest pieces as well, which I really like. I think modularity is a great thing to bring into, especially with some of these different armor mods. It allows you to either just use this as you would, or even mix and match it with some other armor mods out there. All around, this is coming together really nicely. I definitely like the aesthetic of this. Again, something that I would love to put on a companion. Kind of has a power futuristic look, and it's something I know a lot of people are going to enjoy. So now we have another new weapon coming in Wars, that being the Makeshift Anti-Material Rifle. This is actually a standalone weapon mod. This is something the guys over at Wars are doing, is from time to time taking an existing weapon mod and kind of updating it or maybe overhauling it a little bit to include in their mod. I really like this because rather than just building an entire weapon pack from the ground up, taking some of those really good releases that are standalone and including them, I just think is nice. We don't really need two Makeshift Anti-Material Rifles. We could just have one and then an updated version of that same one. If you guys do not know, Wars is basically aiming to overhaul the weapons in Fallout 4, aiming to replace some of the kind of crappier ballistic vanilla weapons, so things like the assault rifle, the combat rifle, weapons that really just weren't that high quality, and taking these new modded weapons and replacing them with those. So now with the Makeshift Anti-Material Rifle, obviously the tape has changed colors. In addition, he's actually going to change it, so this is going to be the only way a pipe weapon can fire .308 to 50 BMG. If you guys don't know, the pipe bolt action rifle actually can fire those very high caliber types, which doesn't make a ton of sense. All around, this is a very high quality weapon. I personally personally love the Makeshift anti-material rifle. I think it's one of my favorite weapon mods, just both in the theme of it. It's a really unique idea, and it kind of fits perfectly into Fallout 4. I think Wars is coming together really nicely. It's definitely going to be something I start a new playthrough just to experience, because gunplay is such a big part of Fallout 4, and this is going to really overhaul it. So last but not least, we have some further updates to that winter overhaul I did show you guys last episode. I know you really loved it, so I wanted to show you again some of the further work that has been done by Makeshift, I think I'm pronouncing that right, on this mod. This time we actually see a lot more of the world. In the first image set, we really only saw a bunch of the Museum of Freedom and that surrounding area. Well, now we're seeing more over Red Rocket, as well as just some of the general landscapes and how it will look. If the pictures don't convey it enough, the big difference between this winter overhaul and maybe some of the other snow mods out there is this is adding in like a lot of additional details, frost, dead trees, a lot of the objects in the game look affected by this. There's going to be a lot more dead foliage on some of the different buildings. And one thing that I really noticed is some of the other snow overhauls seem to remove a lot of the trees, make the things more barren. This one's actually still including a lot of foliage. It's just much more dead and appropriate for the winter theme that this is going for. Personally, I love the look of this mod. I know it is getting fairly close to release. I think it's kind of in a beta version right now. So hopefully we'll get to download this as winter does come in our own kind of real lifeness. So then you can come home and experience it in Fallout 4 also. That's pretty much going to wrap it up for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I think a lot of these mods are really high quality, and as always, I'd love to know in the comments down below, out of these things I've showed you, which is your favorite. Personally, I'm still really hyped for this winter overhaul, but also Wars. That's definitely going to be a close second in this one. Again, I thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you all next time. Later.